What's up, world? You are welcome to NEZtelly. Today we are discussing the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. This book is amazing. There is so much we can learn from talking about this book. So please sit back and relax and let us begin. Okay, so this is your first time. I am Nez. Welcome to NEZtelly. I'm out here trying to get more Nigerians to read. If you're interested, of course, please join the group, because I just believe that if at least 50% more Nigerians can look to book as a source of solution or as a way of solving problem, Nigeria will be way better. And if possible, go all the way to Africa and all over the world. All we just need to do is read more. And this book is an amazing solution book. So please welcome to the community. Subscribe below and then like this video so that more people can get to see about it. And then of course, my former subscribers, you guys, much love as usual. Okay, so let us begin. Now, the general overview of this book is basically like, okay, the 4-hour work week, right, is when you shorten, it's like a ratio of the time the normal people use. Like people like us, most of us are 9 to 5ers. In Lagos here, we don't count it 9 to 5, we count it, I don't know, way longer, because most times you leave your house as early as 5 and come back as late as 10 sometimes. The average worker, the average corporate worker here in Nigeria, this is what they do. But what he's saying is that the average worker, the average 9 to 5er works 40 hours a week. So basically remove that 0 and make it a 4-hour work week. So it's basically taking out time, because he was like, in the real overview is that this person will do this work to be able to climb the corporate ladder and reach their heights after, let's say, 30 to 40 years, and then they retire. They retire, most times they are bored out of their minds. They can't even do the things that they always wanted to do. They now sit back and there's a lot of regrets. Some people even go through the whole midlife crisis thing where they now go and buy cars, absolutely, as it's like it doesn't even do things that are so unnecessary and so risky at a particular age. And at that time, those that have families may have lost out in having a family side, like having great relationship with their children, because they're so absorbed by work. So what this book is trying to do is to make it possible for you to still do your job, reach your maximum potential at the workplace, and then be able to enjoy all these other things all at the same time. I think it's a genius idea. Like, Tim Ferriss is like, the guy just he's flipping the mind upside down. Basically, he's saying anything is possible if you can just try and think about it. It's a great book on time management. It's a great book on understanding how to live the life the fullest. Like, basically learn to multitask but do the things that are important. Does that make any sense? Multitask, not by doing 2 things at the same time, but doing things parallelly. Like, you can have a business and have a job at the same time. You can have a job and still be a great mom at the same time. You can be a great mom and still have a wonderful social life at the same time. All these things are possible. That's basically what he's trying to say, without you having to break down and die. Okay, so I wanted to name 5 steps as to how to achieve these things. Now, this book is huge and it is thorough. What I liked about it is that it's very how-to. It's a very how-to book. So it's like, for every chapter, he explains what you're trying to achieve. He explains how you can achieve it with links. Check here, check here, check here to do this, check here to do this. It is awesome. And honestly, I think that this book, like, your mind will be full when you're done. Okay, so let me begin. Number 1. Okay, yeah, this is, before I start, sorry, he talked about this is also suitable for not just entrepreneurs. It's good for entrepreneurs, it's great for regular 9 to 5 workers, and it's also great for even jobless people. It's a great way to get around trying to get a job and take care of yourself for the rest of your life. So let's begin. Number 1 is learn to ask and answer important questions about yourself and your life. He says things like, okay, most times when you think about the driving force, what would make you to cut this extra 0 away from your life, turn your life into the 4-hour work week, your productive hours in a week to be just 4 hours, is you have to find out what you're going to do with them. What would motivate you are the things that you have to do. Do you understand? So it's like, what are the things that are important to you? What are the things that excite you? You have to ask yourself those questions. You have to be sure why you're doing what you're doing, because if you don't, you're just doing it because they said you should do it or you should just try it. Find out those things about yourself. Ask yourself some questions. What is it that I even want to do anyway? Like, what am I doing? Yes, now what's the point? If I have all this time on my hand, what am I going to do? Am I going to travel? Am I going to go and do this one? Am I going to, I don't know, am I going to go climb Everest or something like that? I don't know if you understand. So ask those questions, write them down, figure it out, be absolutely sure that it's something I actually want to do, and then just do it. Don't let fear rule you. Yeah, he talks a lot about allowing fear. Don't allow fear to rule you, because a lot of people are afraid. They think, okay, I would like to do this thing, but what if this one happens? What if that one happens? What if that? But like, he's like, everything in life is a risk. The fact that you're doing nothing right now is a risk. It's actually the biggest risk of all. Okay, so learn to ask and answer questions about yourself. Make it about yourself for a second. So that's number one. Number two is to make out time to understand your work and what is really required of you. Okay, so I'm going to put it in a regular day activity thing. A lot of us in the office, a lot of us are working corporate places here in Nigeria. A lot of us tend to take on work that we have no business taking, just because we're trying to prove that we can work. Most times you end up doing so much more, you exhaust yourself to reach a certain place, and most times you may not even reach there because the office politics that are involved is a little too much. So that's for the 9 to 5. And then for the entrepreneur here, like for me, I make clothes, right? Now imagine if I as a dressmaker, I went to market and I bought the clothes, I came back, I sorted through the clothes, I design, I do the marketing for the clients, I get the clients, I cut this clothes, I sew it, I package it, I send it, I deliver it, then I do accounting, I check, make sure that the payment is well taken care of, I do the law, whatever, I pay all the bills, I take care of the rent. Whew. The thing is that if you have a design company, you'll be surprised that what you actually need there, what you actually need to be in that design company might just be the designer. Everything else can be outsourced. Everything else. That's why, like, sit down and understand your life. These things that you do, everything that you do you have to do every single one of them? Think about it. If there are things that other people can do, please let other people do it. That way you free up more time and be able to do things like enjoy yourself. He talks about traveling, being somewhere in Japan for 4 months of a year without going to his workplace, and work is functioning without him, and he's still working. He's working where he is. He's able to just tell them, okay, do this, and they do it. So it's like, it's pretty, like I said, it's very genius, like very cool. So just number 2 is to try to understand, make out time to understand what you do and why you do what you do. Understand if you're needed in the places that you're doing what you're doing. Then number 3, right? Number 3, you have to become a master negotiator. I think this part is the part where it starts becoming very dicey for me. First of all, you have to negotiate. Like I said, everything is in steps. He explained about as a 9 to 5, when you go to your workplace and tell them that they have to allow you to start working from home. This book was written in 2009, and we're now in 2020 when there's quarantine. I think a lot of us now are understanding that our job, what we thought was very important, is now not that important anymore, because a lot of us are losing our jobs. Now, there are still, like in Nigeria, there are a lot of solutions waiting to happen. There are a lot of challenges waiting for solutions. But you see, as long as you keep thinking of your life as to this particular thing, you will not look at those solutions as a way to make life work for you. You get? So you have to learn to be a master negotiator. Get to a point where if you are still working now, you can talk to them about maybe working from home. Maybe you want to be able to spend more time with your kids. Maybe you can, like everything, sometimes your being present in the office is not as important as you're just doing the job that needs to be done. Just deliver. Do you understand? Of course, I feel like it comes from a place of privilege on his side. He's an American. I feel like Americans have an easier way of getting around. He talks about going to Japan to learn kickboxing, going to Australia to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm a Nigerian with my green passport. Where am I going to? Not like I can't go. Like, I mean, we know now this traveling thing is not easy for us, or like them that have those passports. So, but I'm just saying, you have to just learn to get creative with your own this thing. When you look at this book, I'm telling you, it's so good. So that's number 3. Number 4 is, like, I think is the most powerful part. Outsource. Like, the man outsources everything, down to things like even sending reminders, as in sending people birthday gifts. Like, it needs to be done. Let somebody else do it. He doesn't have to be there. He doesn't have to be present. He has to sit down and spend his time doing this thing. Outsource to the, as in, there are things that cannot be outsourced. This reminds me of something that Pastor Sam used to say. Sam Adeyemi. I don't know if any of you know him in Daystar. Pastor Sam used to say that that everything concerning church, somebody else can do it. Nobody can. He cannot outsource being a husband. He cannot outsource being a dad. So every other thing, somebody else can do it. But when it comes to his family, when it comes to this, his wife, this is husband and his wife, this is husband and his father work. It's only him that can do it. He cannot give it to somebody else to do. So those ones, he makes sure that he does it. And this man actually seems to be doing that a lot. He's like, well, every other thing, somebody else can do. So he will just let anybody that wants to, as in he'll give it to somebody, pay someone to do it, and then, my dear, turn the other way and enjoy your life. Do you understand? Learn to outsource. Figure out if sometimes it makes sense to even be pound foolish in some things. Sometimes paying someone an extra $10. It's an American book, like I said. Pay someone an extra $10 just to make sure that something that is not that important to you, like things like even research, and people you can pay to research. Like, I know a lot of sites that are based in India. If you want to do a research on particular paper on a particular thing here in Nigeria, you can give it to them. They will do the research, do online research. You don't actually have to sit down and read through it and do it yourself to present in the office. They will do it, create it as a presentation. You pay them $20 and you collect your presentation, go and present it and knock the office off. Do you understand? So those things are actually very cool and it's really nice. So outsource, you have to learn to outsource, but again, it comes from the understanding why you do what you do. How important is it for you to be doing what you're doing? That way you can decide the ones that are absolutely important that you have to do, and then the other things that can be outsourced, that you can outsource. So that's number 4. Number 5, definitely not the least, is to enjoy whatever you want to do with your life. That part is basically like after you've sat down and decided that, okay, this is what I want to do with my life, and because of that I cannot continue doing this 9-to-5 job the way that I'm doing it. When you actually do get your 4-hour work week going on, make sure that you spend your time doing this other thing that you want to do. He said don't find what you want to do, find what makes you excited. I think that's what I liked the most about that statement. And I mean, your great idea will come from the things that excite you, the things that make you bubble. So it's really nice. I like this book. Tim Ferriss apparently is somebody like, my king is a fan of his. I didn't even know, but apparently he really likes the guy. The guy is about like, you know, he's very and all that. But this book, I didn't finish the book. Confession, I did not finish the book. The book was so full. Do you understand? It's a big book. On audio version, I have the e-version. On audio version, it's like 8 hours long, but it's full. Like information, you know, information overload. I was starting to suffer from information overload. I had to stop, and I got this much from it. I will go back to try and finish it later, but right now, no, I didn't finish the book, and I probably say so because I'm going to start another book. I don't even send. I will do it, but the little that you read, you're going to learn a lot from it. And like I said, the guy talks, gives you sources, gives you links, gives you steps. The guy hits it here and here and here. There's something that he did I want to call out. Tim Ferriss, I don't know if you're listening to me. I'm mad at you, okay? I'm mad, I'm upset. If I see him, I'll tell him to my face, sir, I'm mad at you. He said something. He said, he was talking about like if you decide to do like what I do now as a designer, if you get a company outside Nigeria, like maybe say in China, to arrange your products for you, and then you try to sell it, right, and all that, and things that you can do to avoid you having to do back and forth about it. He wrote things like do not accept payments via Western unions or checks and all that. That those things will have a way of fizzling out the customers that you don't really need per se, and all that. And in between all that, there were 5 options. There were 6 options, and in the 6th one, he wrote do not accept orders from common mail fraud countries such as Nigeria. See, I am so mad at that statement. First of all, he said common mail fraud countries. There's an S there, such as Nigeria. He named only Nigeria. See, I'm not going to stay here and lie and say that there are no fraudulent activities that have to do with Nigeria, that is linked with Nigeria. But I think that this joke gets a little too long, because it is ridiculous that the world thinks that every single mail fraud, anything that has to do with this world, comes from Nigeria. We all know that's a lie. Okay, I'm going to come one day with receipt. I'm going to look at fraud, whatever, in this world, and you realize, you'll be surprised that Nigeria is not part of the top 5. Meanwhile, people can sit down and write this stuff in their book, and I'm supposed to be okay with it. Meanwhile, he said country. Why didn't he name countries? Why didn't he name at least 4 other countries? Why would he name only Nigeria? I'm tired of seeing this. You see it in their news. It's annoying. It's very, very honest, because we know that it's not only Nigeria. I'm not saying, I'm not even saying that it's okay. But I hate that word is always used. I hate that Nigeria is the one that is always being used whenever this kind of thing comes in. So since we know that it's not only Nigeria. Not too long ago, during the Daily Show, Trevor Noah talked about a white man that was found that was pretending to be the Nigerian prince, and he was arrested and he was held. That one did not make news. It's for somebody to come and write a book and say that countries like Nigeria, you should not sell to them because they are common men. And meanwhile, you're supposed to be talking about more than one country, such as Nigeria. Let me calm down. Please, what I wanted to ask you, what I would like you to leave in the comment below is that, do you think it's possible for us here in Nigeria to achieve the 4-hour work week? Like being able to sit down, negotiate with your boss, and see if it's possible to short the amount of time that you do your work, even though you deliver like you said you will. I am actually very curious about this. I think it's going to be really cool to find out if it's possible. I would like to hear from people that work, like entrepreneurs, everybody. How do you think it's possible, and why? And then why not? I look forward to that conversation. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Okay, please give this video a like, because I think this is a great thing that we really need to get along. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.